How's it going, YouTube? My name is Max with Max Magic Cooking, and today I'm showing you something a little bit sinful. And by sinful, I mean it's so easy and so good that it's like you're cheating almost. It's a banana pudding that I've made, and it only contains 4 ingredients. It's so good that if I open up a restaurant, say a buffet restaurant, all I would probably need to sell is this banana pudding. There could be all those other, chicken, salmon, anything you think of. But only everyone would only go for the banana pudding because it's that good. It's simple. So I'm really excited to show it to you, and I hope you like it. Let's go. There they are, folks. Those are the 4 ingredients in this recipe. So easy. Oh, I just love it. So we got bananas. You can use 2 or 3, but I'm gonna use 2 for this recipe. It's all I really had. So make sure they're very ripe. If they're not ripe, you can forget about it. And as far as pudding goes, definitely go for vanilla. If you don't go for vanilla, or if you even try and use banana, it's gonna suck. So use vanilla. Doesn't matter if you get Jello brand or generic brand. Usually I don't care, it's whatever's cheaper. This thing calls for 2 cups of milk for the pudding mix. Add just a little bit more because you're gonna add a bunch of wafers. But then eventually the bananas like to release some of their moisture into the pudding. So towards the end of its lifespan, the pudding does get a little bit kind of wet. You're gonna use about 35 vanilla wafers, and yeah, just we're gonna beat this up, and it's so easy. So for the first thing, getting all this started here, we're gonna go with the bananas. Just peel them off and cut them into like quarter, half-inch slices, and that's all you really have to do. I'll kind of show you that. All right, so next up after the bananas, which by the way smell very nice and ripe, they kind of got that fermented banana smell, which is what you want. They really need to transfer their flavor into the pudding to make it more banana tasting. So that's important that they're ripe. So I got a 3.4 ounce thing of pudding, vanilla, and just gotta put it in a bowl. And we have 2 cups plus a little bit more because the wafers kind of absorb some of the moisture of milk. So basically like 2 cups that the recipe calls for, and then like a few tablespoons extra. Make sure it's cold, pour it in, and just start mixing it. It should take about, you'll start noticing it thicken after like 30 seconds, but you really only need to whisk it for like a minute or 2, and then you can throw everything in there, the bananas and the wafers, and you'll be done. Okay, so now that the yogurt's kind of solidified, I've pretty much mixed it for like a minute and a half. I'm gonna let it rest for a couple minutes. Now the next thing we gotta do is just add the bananas and the wafers. And a couple things about the yogurt, or about the pudding, is that don't eat it right away. Basically, the wafers are gonna still be really crunchy, and they're basically still gonna be their own wafers. But after you let, pretty much the most prime time to eat this is about 8 to 10 hours after it's been made. That's when the wafers kind of hit their peak. Afterwards, they get a little bit softer. Eventually, they're really soggy. The bananas kind of deteriorate too after about a day. So it's really about peak, about 10 hours after you make it. So keep a timer around, or just remember when you made it and wait about 10 hours and start serving it up, because that is really the prime time. And with the wafers, just count about 35 of them and put them on there. You can go a little bit more, you can go a little bit less, but 35 I've kind of seen as the also prime number here. And yeah, pretty much, there are there are puddings that are more, I guess, rich, and there's really no need for it. You can just make it this simple. Do you use 2% or better, or I guess 2% or fatter? 2% or whole milk is the kind of milk you're gonna really need. Don't go for anything less fat, it's not really worth it. But there's really no need to go for anything different, and like you don't need to put in whipped cream or Cool Whip or evaporated milk or any type of sweetener. It's really just perfect as it is, and I'm really confident that it's pretty unbeatable. So I measured out 35 wafers, and you use whatever wafer brand you care for. I don't care for vanilla, or I don't have big preferences for any. They all taste kind of the same to me. But anyways, just mix this up, And really all you just gotta do is get the wafers kind of underneath into the pudding. and you're just gonna have to wait about that 10 hours, the prime 10 hours here for this pudding, and it's gonna be done.